Hey guys and gals, another thing I got, other than just that power supply by Fantic, I also picked up one of these for a Ryobi 18-volt battery. I got this on sale at the factory outlet store. It was on sale for $16.99, $17. These normally go for 49 bucks at Home Depot, but factory outlet store has factory blemish products. And what's factory blemished on it? You see the sticker right here? The sticker is upside down. That is the blemish. Yep. So would you buy a factory blemish item if you could save that much money, all because of a sticker being upside down? So this one works similar to those other batteries. This one here, you would click it on and it goes on. It does have a little light on it. You can't really see much in the dark. So this is an older one where it only has USB-A ports. You can see it just has the 2.4. Now the household outlet here, 150 watts, is modified sine wave. Okay, so you can see that it's charging here, 52%. And check it out, it's just plugged right into this household outlet. Now, I do mostly have USB-C. Now, you could charge USB-C with this by using this household outlet here. So yeah, you have to plug this into here. Let me tell you, when you do so, it loses a lot of power. First of all, it's only 150 watts, but when I needed to charge up a device that had 2 watts, it requires 2 watts to fully charge, which is my smartwatch, it used 9 total watts. That means 7 watts got lost in the conversion. So, and that always happens when you convert DC to AC. You can plug in this thing and get USB-C, but you're going to lose a lot of power in the conversion rate. So my smartwatch here, if this was fully discharged, it needs 2 watts. And to get 2 watts through here, it uses a total of 9 watts, meaning it loses 7 watts in the conversion. Not very efficient. But I'll show you, just put that onto there and it will start charging. You can see it's actually not bad. It's a little under 50%, but this will charge it. But you will lose a lot of power doing so. As you can see, it's charging the iPad from this little unit here. So it can do that. It's absolutely fantastic. You can charge your iPhone, iPad, and other really small device. But yeah, it does do a good job at that. Hey guys and gals, this is the Fantic EVO 300. I've had this thing now for almost a year. I bought it in March of 2023. I wanted to do like a whole year using it, and it has been absolutely fantastic. Now, I only spent about $100 on this thing. With tax, it was about $120. It's a 300 watt-hour power supply, and it works with my solar panels. It can also be charged by USB-C, DC, and AC, and this whole unit can be charged up in less than 2 hours. Yeah, it's absolutely awesome. Now, it's only a 300 watt-hour unit. I basically use it for charging my iPad, my smartwatches, computers, cell phones, batteries for things like Ryobi tools. You can also use it to charge action camera batteries, all sorts of different things. No gadgets, basically. Believe it or not, you can even charge a fridge freezer, a portable DOS compressor-based fridge freezer, in the DC ports. It has 2 USB ports, and I can kind of zoom in there for you. So one of the USB ports right here is a power deliverance port, which means it can power in or out 60 watts. The other one is a regular 5 volt, 3 amp. Then we have 2 USB-A ports. One is a 3.0 and the other one is a regular 2.4 amp. These are DC barrel jacks, 5 amp ports. And I have a couple different little things that plug in there. This is a regular cigarette lighter type port right here. And this will run my CF18 fridge freezer. It also has built in right here Pure Sine-wave household jack. So they can power up to 300 continuous and a 600 peak on these. Now, I very seldom use these because with any of these power units, when you use this type of port, you're going to actually lose power. It's going to cost more power to convert it into this. It's better to use these DC ports instead. So yeah, this Fantic battery pack is awesome. I highly recommend getting something like this. Be it any brand you get. I got the Fantic as mine because literally this thing was under $100 on sale. It can charge up as fast as 2 hours, and it has pure sine wave inverters built in. Has power deliverance, USB-C up to 60 watts. Has DC built in, and I love this huge display. And so if we look at the back of this unit, you see we have, this is where you plug in the AC and the DC. That's where you plug in the solar, plus you can use the power deliverance port. You also have this light, and it's very bright. And gets even brighter. There's even an SOS pattern if you want it. Believe it or not, that light comes in very handy, especially during a power outage, because you don't need to look for a flashlight. It's built into the unit. It's got a nice handle on it. Everything's awesome with this unit. For $100, this is definitely worth it. Now, I use this thing every day. I really do. I use it every day. I used it for a move across country. I've used it for power outages. I've used it for going in the car, and used it off-grid. I've used it in the shop. I've used it for a lot of different things. I'm watching it. So it's a great unit. And the main thing I am suggesting here is if you're somebody that was like me that had an AGM battery for their solar panels, this is a good replacement using either lithium or Life PO4 batteries. The batteries, number one, are small, they're compact, they're lightweight, and they have all the little things built in it. It has the Pure Sine wave built in. It has all these little controllers built in. It even has the charge controller built into the battery. Charging my watch, you will actually see 1 to 0 watts because this watch takes very little power. It only needs, when it's fully degraded, it only needs 2 watts to fully charge. So it takes hardly any watts. And so that's why I only put it into that one particular charger. Like I said, very seldom do you even see it move the output. Every once in a while I see 1 watt. Otherwise, it registers usually under 1 watt. Now I plugged in my iPad and my watch, both at the same time, and now it's taking 12 watts out. So you can see it can take, you can have multiple things plugged in, and it can take a lot more wattages out. So it gives you what your current output is, and it fluctuates, and it tells you how, if going at this rate, how much more time this battery has before it hits 0. So that's what that tells you. Now for input, it would give you the watts, and it would tell you how much more time it would be before it charges. But because the wattage actually fluctuates, as you will see, it does fluctuate, and it's just the way it charges. Things charge differently, and sometimes, it doesn't always charge at the same thing. Like once something gets to about 80%, you'll notice the device actually trickle charges usually. So things take a little bit longer than you actually think they do. Now it looks like there's a lot of stuff on here. I have one battery in here. This is for my action cam, and if you follow it all the way over here, I've got 3 things plugged in right now, and it's drawing now 15 watts of power, 13 to 15, and now you can see it's fluctuating how much time. If we keep going at this rate, 15 watts, we will have only 17 hours worth of time. That's a lot of time, actually, to draw 15 watts, charging 3 items, an iPad, a smartwatch, and a battery for an action camera. It is now charging. It blinks on and off. Now this one doesn't have any indicators on it, but you can see, check out the wattage on there. It does definitely draw the wattage. 42 watts. It's going to have, if it keeps drawing 42 watts, it's going to have 6 hours of battery time. So you can see that you can put a power-hungry application towards it, like one of these Ryobi batteries running off the AC, and you can see that the unit will not last very long. But it does fluctuate. It still fluctuates in the power outage, but or power wattage. I didn't get this to use with the household outlets. I mean, that's there for emergency situation. Emergency situation, if you need to use the AC ports, they're there. But I got it really for the DC side, for using the barrel jack DC, using the cigarette lighter DC, and using the USB-A and C ports. Now, believe it or not, and I didn't bring my thing out here, you can actually use the cigarette lighter port and you can put in more USB ports. They actually sell an adapter where you put it in here and you can get additional USB-C and A ports coming out of this as well. Hey guys and gals, so this is my Dometic CF18 fridge freezer, and believe it or not, this big, huge refrigerator can be plugged into this unit right here and run for about 10 to 13 hours, depending on the actual outside ambient temperature. So yeah, it looks like a big cooler, but it actually is a compressor-based fridge freezer. I picked this thing up quite a few years ago. Back when I got my solar panels, I got this thing that same year. But there's other brands out there you can get. You can see not very big inside area here. I've used it for lots of different food options though. Works really good. Up here is your refrigerant area when it's on. Down here is like an area for chilling your fruit and your vegetables. As you can see, I have all my power cords in here. So I have just the regular DC cord here, but I also have one so that you can plug it into a household outlet as well, a battery converter. But this area down here would normally be for putting fruit or vegetables, where that's what that area down there was for. Now you can also use it for drinks, like if you have like a thing of milk or something, you could put this divider in here and you can put the thing of milk all the way down and it just would stand up straight. But for the most part, that's meant for like fruits or vegetables. Now you can make this thing into either a freezer or a refrigerator. So this thing goes all the way down to 0 degrees Fahrenheit or as high as 44 degrees Fahrenheit. So I normally just keep it around 35 degrees because that's refrigeration, or 32, somewhere right around 32 to 35. And it works fine for most of the things I need it for. It's small, but you can get quite a bit in there for like going camping or little road trips or whatnot. Very nice. And believe it or not, when this thing is plugged in, so this here is the power outlet. And this is plugged, so plugging it into here, you're not using your car charger. So that is good. Like if you're going, say, on a small road trip where you're going to be driving around for like anywhere between 8 to 13 hours, yeah, you can plug it into here. Now, this thing can get a charge. So you can get charged from this. You can actually have this plugged in and then have this plugged into solar, and it can discharge and charge at the same time. That's another thing I like about these units. But if you're going to do that more often than not, I would suggest getting a Life P04 unit because it's going to last longer for that type of thing. So yeah. Fridge freezer, it works really good if you're type 2 diabetic, you're going camping, or any type of road trip where you need to have something where ice is not going to cut it, especially if you're going to use it as a freezer. So yeah, very nice unit. And this thing will charge it for a time being. But it's not, because it's a 300 watt unit, and 300 watt unit's not going to charge this for more than 13 hours. So for the most part, if you're going to get one of these things, I would highly suggest picking up a 500 or 1,000 watt one of these instead, because you're going to be able to run this a full 24 hours plus a couple other items on it. But yeah, these things are awesome.